Hey everybody, Mike Branton here. I want to talk to you today about a tool that I've used throughout my career that has really helped me just dial into customers that I want to reach to sell whatever it was I was selling at that point in my career. The tool is called ReferenceUSA. It's free through your public library. I'd say 99% of libraries out there have it these days. I've run into a couple that don't, but for the most part, most do. Today I'm going to do a quick demo, and I'd like to walk through how you go in and you just target the exact kind of customers you want to call on, how you get the names, the phone numbers, the business sizes, everything that you would need to call on a business and sell your services. We're going to run through it in about 15 minutes or less. Here we go. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in and share my screen. Bear with me real quickly while we get set up. And I think we should be good to go. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm starting at the Google screen because for a lot of folks, this will be the first time you use ReferenceUSA. So I want to show you how to find it at your public library. I live in St. Louis, so I'm going to go to the St. Louis County Library. And you can see I use it enough that it's there at the top of my search. Whatever library you go to, when you get to the homepage, what you're looking for is like online databases or reference sections or reference tools or something of that nature. In our case, it's under research, and it may be for your library as well. And for almost every library I've used this at, there's something that says resources A to Z. So look for that, resources A to Z. It'll help you dial in and find it. You may not see something exactly like that. Maybe it's a different kind of index. Or maybe you can use a search bar to go in and search for ReferenceUSA. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the R's, and we should see, yeah, there's two different ReferenceUSA instances here. One of them is for library access, and we don't want to use that, at least not for today's demo, because I'm at home, I'm not at the library. If you're at the library, you might want to use that. But if you're at your home or your office or something along those lines, home access is what you want. So I'm going to click into that, and to log in, it's going to ask me for my last name, it's going to ask me for my library card number, and it's going to ask me for my PIN. And you should have the same experience wherever you're logging in from. And once you get inside, what you're going to find is this screen. It's the same for everybody. There's a few different areas. The one we want is U.S. businesses. You might find that you want to play around with some of these other things here to find out what's available to you. For today, we're going into U.S. businesses. And the first screen that pops up is just a quick search. If you want to look up information on just one company and you happen to know the name, you can use this. But for pulling lists of customers, we're going to use the advanced search, which is the second tab right here. And I'm going to click on it to activate it. And it'll bring up a lot of different search criteria we can use. So for today's demo, what I'd like to do, I'd like to pretend like I'm selling safety equipment to construction services here in the St. Louis area where I live. So the first thing that I'm going to do, let's say I'm looking for construction companies that have 20 or more employees on board, and it can be a lot of different things. It can be a construction company that builds homes. It might be a contractor that's in the field. It could even be something like a tree service or something like that. I don't really know. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a keyword search, and it's going to pop open a screen where I can type construction. Did I get that right? Construction. Yes, it's hard to talk and type at the same time, so forgive me there. And when it comes up, here's all the different things you can have, like building equipment, construction containers, all kinds of different things. Flagging, metal builders. You can kind of see all the different stuff I've got here. I'm going to go through and just, general construction companies is here, consultants, equipment manufacturers. So all kinds of stuff that we can click on. And I'm going to click on everything that I think might work for me. So I'm selling safety equipment to these guys. So people like sand and gravel, sure, they use that. Construction for telecommunications, yeah, of course. So I'm just going to pick all this stuff and click through all of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and stop right about here just because. All right, so I've told it what kind of companies I'm looking for. I also need to tell ReferenceUSA where we want those. So maybe I'm calling on construction companies all over the country. And if that's the case, this would be a good place to stop. But I said at the beginning, I'm looking for just in the St. Louis area. So I'm going to choose metro area right here and click that. And it brings up just a little down below here. It's going to ask me where I am. So I'm going to say I'm in Missouri. And now it's going to ask me what part of Missouri. And I'm going to say St. Louis. And you can see St. Louis, Missouri, Illinois. If you're not familiar with St. Louis, it's right on the Mississippi River. So we have part of our metro area in Missouri, part in Illinois. So this is pretty cool. If you pick just like county or state or something, it's only for us, it would just cut off only the Missouri side and we wouldn't get the whole Missouri, Illinois area. Same is true in like Kansas City and several other cities that happen to be on a river or on a geographic boundary between two states. So metro area I found to be pretty useful. So we've told it we want construction companies in the St. Louis metro area. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it how big of construction companies I want. I'm selling safety equipment here. Let's say I really only want to deal with companies that have at least 20 or 25 employees. So what I can do is go into this section here, and I can tell it the number of employees. You could use sales volume if that was more effective for you, but depending on what you do. So I'm going to say 20 to 49, maybe 50 to 99, 100 to 249. That's a good range. 20 to 250 employees is a pretty solid range for my demo here. And then, let's talk about headquarters versus branch. So because this is safety equipment, I might want to say it's okay if I get branches of this company maybe that are here in St. Louis, but the headquarters is in Chicago or New York or Ohio or something like that. Not a problem, because maybe the job site supervisors who I want to talk to about my safety equipment. But if I was selling, let's say I'm selling to restaurants here in St. Louis, I probably don't want branches and subsidiaries because I'm going to get every single Hardee's and McDonald's and Taco Bell in the area, and it's probably not going to do me very good to call a local Hardee's and talk to them about what I'm selling. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe depending on what you do, maybe that works. But for something like that, you might want to say, I only want companies that are headquartered in St. Louis. And headquarters would mean they might have places all over the country, but they're headquartered here, and that's where the decisions are made. Or a single location is pretty self-explanatory. But I'm going to go ahead and leave subsidiaries and branches here because I might want to talk with the local site supervisor about safety before I go calling their headquarters in another state or something like that. All right, so I've told the system I want construction companies, what kind of construction companies, the size, where it is, St. Louis, and in our situation, I didn't specify it has to be a headquarters or single loc, but I wanted to point that out to you because it's important depending on how you're going to use it. Okay, so I can use this blue button to update the count, and I can see that I have pulled 141 businesses. So that's a pretty good list to work from. You don't want something that's so huge that you've got thousands of them. It's probably time to dial in a little bit more if you get that. And it's probably not also good to pull a list of like 10 because that's not going to get you. I mean, certainly you can make traction with 10, but if you're really going to go in and target a bunch of companies, I don't consider 10 to be a very good list. 141 is workable for sure. So what I'll do is let's click here to look at the results. And when it comes up, what you can see is here are the names of all of these construction companies that I've pulled. And if I click into one, let's click into this commercial construction management just because it caught my eye. So we can see these folks are in Madison County, Illinois. Here's the phone number. Their construction management company, heavy equipment and civil engineering. It looks like they have 50 employees, 11 million in revenue. They are a single location. And here's a cool thing. As I scroll down, I can see who I want to call. So here's the name of the owner, his phone number and everything like that. I'm going to block this out before you see it on my YouTube channel online just to be good to Chuck. So I'm going to block Chuck's information, but trust me when I tell you, Chuck's first and last name is here. His role is here. Some of these have several officers of the company, so depending on what it is you're calling about, if there's a safety officer listed, I know I call that person. If I'm calling for a different purpose, if I'm, wanting to talk to a CFO, a lot of times the CFO is listed. So depending on what you're wanting to do, you'll see that information there. But I wanted to show you the info you get. Another thing, don't ever use this back button on your computer browser when you're using ReferenceUSA. They offer a back button within the tool. Use that, because if I use this, it's going to take me back and it might wipe out my whole search. So I'm just going to hit this button and it takes me back to my search. And if I want to revise my search and make changes, because maybe I found I made a mistake or I didn't get enough of the right kind of companies, or I decided I want to add different sizes or something like that, you can hit revise search and it'll take you back to all this without wiping out what you did. And it'll maintain your search results. So I've pulled the information I want. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and download this because I want to take it into an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe I'm going to import this into a CRM program like Salesforce.com or Pipedrive or Zoho or something. So I'm going to click this button on the top to capture everything on the screen. And then I'm going to go through each of these pages, and I'm going to click the button to select everything on the page. Probably have 5 or 6 pages here to go through. Yeah, that's it, 6 pages. And when I've collected everything, I'm going to go click this download button. Now, the default is comma delimited, and the reason that they do that is a lot of folks that use this tool, they're going to import it into another program like ReferenceUSA, or sorry, like Salesforce.com or Pipedrive, like I said, or Zoho, or whatever CRM program you might use. You dump it into your computer program database that manages your calling and things like that. If you're not using one of those, you really should be. We'll talk about why in another video, but just trust me when I tell you, CRM programs, customer relationship management programs, can really help speed up your day. It helps you do more calling in less time. And, for that reason, a lot of people will choose comma delimited. I'm going to take it down to an Excel spreadsheet so that we can see the data in the way that a human brain processes it. And a lot of folks I know that are watching this may just use Excel spreadsheets for their follow-up. And if that's you, that's okay. I usually pick the summary because the detailed information level just has way too much in it. So the summary is the default. That's what I usually take. And I'm going to click download records, and it's going to go ahead and pull this down for me in an Excel spreadsheet. And I'll open it for you so you can see it. Now, a lot of times you'll get a pop-up warning you that, ooh, I think I did. Yeah, there it is. You'll get a pop-up warning you that this file may be unsafe. And you don't want to be opening Excel spreadsheets from people you don't know. In my situation, I've used the St. Louis County Library a lot. I know the Excel spreadsheet it's sending me is safe, so I'm going to click OK and click yes. But check with your IT people, check with your business owners, and make sure they're okay with you doing that before you do it. All right, so here is our spreadsheet of all the companies that we got. So all 141 are here on the page. And you can see we've got the company name, we've got the going on here. There we go. We've got the company name. We've got the officers, the people that you might want to call. You can see what city they're in, their address. You can even see their credit score. You can see their phone number, and even tax ID number has pulled into this to this information. So a lot of good stuff that you can get that you might want to use depending on how you're marketing to businesses. So in order to save this, I have to enable editing, and I don't know if it's going to let me do it because my screen controls are behind it. File, save as. Okay, good. So you'll save this to your desktop, give it a file name, do whatever you're going to do with it, and you're ready to go. One thing that you'll notice, a lot of times when I try to save these files, it's going to try to save it as a web page. So if I go to save it on my desktop, it's on Excel workbook. Sometimes it'll pop up as web page and you'll want to hit the drop down to take it to Excel workbook. But for my situation, it's there already. You give it a name, construction St. Louis 81718. That defaulted because I've done this before today. And click yes, that's what I want to do. And there we go. So that's how you pull a cool list of businesses that you're going to go and prospect to through ReferenceUSA, completely free through your public library. Now, there's a lot more you can do with this. You can go in and, I'm going to stop sharing so that you can see me instead of the screen. You can go in and drill down into a lot of different ways, different kinds of companies, different sizes, sales volume, people with a certain credit score. You can go in and say, I only want leads that actually show the business owner because some don't. And there's tons and tons and tons of things you can do with this. So I suggest you go in and play with this so you can use it the way that's most effective to you. I want to show this to you today because if you're a business owner, whether you're doing cold calling or doing mailers or email campaigns or whatever it is, be careful about unsolicited emails. You can get email from this tool. Whatever it is that you're wanting to do, this is a great way to go in and pull these leads. I think everybody should be familiar with it. So if you're watching this from my YouTube channel, please subscribe. There's all kinds of videos on my YouTube channel about how to cold call, how to overcome call reluctance, how to pull your call list, how to manage salespeople, how to promote your passion and your idea without being salesy. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you'll find valuable there. So if you're not looking at this on my YouTube channel, go check it out. It's Centered Selling with Mike Branton. That's where you'll find me on YouTube. Also, go by my webpage, michaelbranton.com. Go stop by there. There are buttons that let you go in and schedule a live one-on-one coaching session with me. So if you want to learn more about ReferenceUSA and how you can use it for your business, maybe you're stuck and thinking, I don't know what I would say if I call these people. You might be new to cold calling or something like that. I can help you with that. If you're a seasoned pro, there's lots of things I can help you with as well. So michaelbranton.com is my website. That's me. I'm a sales coach. I invite anybody to come, sign up for a free hour of coaching there. We can do it live in person if you're in St. Louis. If you happen to be somewhere other than St. Louis, we can do it over Zoom, just like I'm doing this recording right now. This is on my Zoom video conferencing tool. In any case, I really appreciate you being here today. I hope you found this video valuable. Most people find if they haven't used ReferenceUSA, it's one of the most valuable tools that they can use and one of the tools that contributes most to their success. So I'm happy to share it with you today, and I hope you find it valuable and use it. So thank you for your time today. Just like always, best of luck in everything that you do. I hope you come by, check out my website, and I get to meet you at some point in the future. Take care, everybody.